welcome back to my channel. My name is Faith, for those of you who have never seen me before. If you are someone that knows me, you're a real one. Because y'all know I haven't really posted since 2019, and let me just put a quick disclaimer out there. I'm not like looking to make an earning off of social media, at least not yet. This has been something that I've tried to do multiple times, but I've just been too afraid to. I find that over time, I get more encouraged. I post mostly when I get something that I feel like I need to share, or I need to speak on, or I need to talk about. I don't know who needs to listen to it. Recently, I've been really overwhelmed, so making video was just out of the question for me. So I've just leaned towards like doing Instagram posts whenever I got something. But yeah, I'm a little bit more free now. I've had a lot of good news recently, so I'm just, you know, in a good place at the moment that I can actually sit down and record something, bearing in mind that I'm not going to be spending a lot of time, like 2 hours or so, just getting my makeup done. I will just put powder, do my eyebrow, wear lip gloss, and come out here. I am not a beauty blogger. I'm not a beauty influencer. So yes, let me just do what I can do and get it out there. I'm also hoping that I make videos that do not need a lot of editing, because child editing, it takes a lot of time and it can be so discouraging as well. But yes, here's to hoping I'm just a little bit more consistent this year. I'm going to be a lot more relaxed, hopefully, in the next couple of videos, or from this video onwards. I'm going to talk like my real self, so you will notice that I switch accents. I'm Nigerian, I am Yoruba, I have a little bit of British in there. I have friends in America, so I slip in some American accent in there. Just take it as it comes, okay? Whichever one jumps out, as long as you can understand what I'm saying, we're good. Right, so what I want to talk about today is I don't know if you've seen the video, this whole Akah and Claire debacle that is going all over the internet right now. The whole thing on communication, on men not understanding what women go through in certain situations in life. It's just, there was a whole lot. If you've not seen the video, you can look for it online. They do have a YouTube channel. I probably will put the link up somewhere, but it is Akah and Claire, in case I forget to put it somewhere. It's AKAH and Claire, CLAIRE. So that's their names, and I think that's what they use on their social media as well. If you want to see the video, I just want to put my 2 cents out there on what I feel about the entire scenario, because I have seen a lot of hot takes. And another disclaimer right here is that this is my opinion. I'm hoping that the opinion I'm going to share today actually helps someone see what happened or what was shared in a different light, and help someone to be able to take a lesson out of it, because I'm here to speak on people that have been overly critical of that video. I will put my hands up and say, as soon as I watched the video, I was just like, what's this man chatting? Like, uncle, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, what exactly are you, like, you don't sound right. And I will give props to Claire, because communication skills, girl, her communication skills are on 100. Nah, girl, you did so well. What I want to talk about today is people that have been so critical about them on why they air, or why that video became public, or why they aired their dirty laundry in public. There's so many people saying, well, now everyone knows that your husband's shit don't stink. Now everyone knows that this. Now everyone knows this. Oh, why would you have to expose your thing like that? Why would you put this out there? And I'm just like, honestly, it's not an easy thing to come and expose yourself like that, especially on the world wide web of today that does not forget. I know that some people do it for clout. I know that some people do it to make money. I know that some people do it with like bad intentions. But if you're from like a place like Nigeria, for example, and you know how the generations before us were with like sharing things that don't look particularly aesthetically pleasing, then you would know that coming out to actually share is not easy at all. And they share something that, if you're a married person, you know that these things happen. Like, no matter how much you want to say that I am the best communicator, I understand, I listen, I'm very emotionally intelligent, I understand all these things. Not even if you're just married, if you're in a committed long-term relationship, if you're in a relationship where you both seek to understand and seek to like help each other grow, seek to help each other out in life, like, you will understand that there's scenarios where even you, that you feel like you're the best person at doing certain things, or at listening, or at communicating, you will fail yourself, you will fail your partner, you will feel like, it's not as easy as ABC. And I will be very honest with it. You need to understand that in different situations, one person might be the stronger party, and in another situation, they'll end up being the weaker person, or they'll end up looking like the person that doesn't actually want to listen. And it stems down to a whole lot of different things. It stems down to just your upbringing, your values, different things that you have had like imbibed in you while you were growing up. And unfortunately, some of these things you need to start to unlearn while you grow up, and they may not surface straight away. They may not. Like, so no matter how much you think like, oh, I am the perfect person, I will criticize this person, no, you are not. If anyone is without sin, let him or she cast the first stone. Honestly, truly, my main aim of making this video is just to like let people know why sharing is good from my perspective, because I'm someone who is very vulnerable. I share a lot. I share with people I'm close to, with people I'm not close to. I could literally meet someone at the train station today and just tell them a lot of things that they probably don't need to know. But it's because vulnerability comes a little bit easier to me than it comes to everybody. And for the longest time, I was fighting that. I kept telling myself, why do you have big mouth? Why do you talk too much? Why do you tell everyone your business? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And I had to learn actually that vulnerability is beautiful. Vulnerability is very good. It's not always right, but it is good if you learn how to harness it properly. Right, so these are the different things I feel like I should say regarding why sharing is good, and why people should stop like having a go at them for sharing things like this that happen, because this is real life, and we're not all going to sit down here and pretend like we are perfect. No, we're not. None of us is. No matter how much you want to think you are, you aren't. So we shouldn't sit down here and act like we're perfect. So you should even pray for situations that help you see yourself in a different light, so that you can start to correct those things that you thought were perfect about you but really aren't. So the first thing is, sharing is good because it gives opportunities for people to see they're wrong. And this opportunity is for the person who is sharing. It could be for someone who is watching. It could be for someone else just being a bystander. Or it could be just a knock-on effect of someone watching that video, or watching or listening to that scenario. So many reasons why someone can see they're wrong just from you sharing honestly and genuinely an experience that you have been through. In this situation, I hope that at some point he will sit down and understand exactly where Claire was coming from, and exactly why he got all the backlash that he got. And if he is a grown human being, a mature person that lets love lead and lets God into his heart, he will start to unlearn some of those things that he did while they were having that conversation. Because at the end of the day, unlearning is not a straight line. It's not a journey that is just like, I start unlearning and that's it. It takes time for you to unlearn things that you have learned for years. So it will give him an opportunity for him to see he's wrong. Other than Akah, people that have seen and watched this video and have heard about it, or even having conversations about it, because this video has gone all across the globe. So people that have seen and have heard this video and I've had conversations about it, I'm sure will start to think about it. It has opened up the opportunity for couples that didn't even realize they had to have this conversation to have the conversation. And for them, it may be earlier than Akah and Claire have had it. For some, it may be later than Akah and Claire have had it. But again, that was an opportunity for people to learn from that video. Number 2, sharing is an opportunity for you to impact. you don't know who what you're sharing is going to like reach. Like I post things that certain people probably think, oh, why is she sharing that? Why is she putting that out there? I put it out there and I don't even look back these days. Before I used to be so like, oh, people are going to be so critical, even though I just really feel like I need to share this, even though I just feel this really like heavy like leading on my spirit to share this. People are going to be so critical. I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to share it. But now I post it and I don't look back. I honestly just put it out there and I'm just like moving on because I've put it there. I've done the work that I've been led to do and I'm just not going to look back because I don't know who needed to see or who needed to hear it. But I believe strongly that for me to have to feel so strongly that I should put this out there, there's someone who needs to listen to it or who needs to hear it, or even if it's just the one person, and even it may not be now, it may be years from now, it may be days from now, maybe weeks from now, but whenever that is literally all I rely on. I'm like, I've done this, I've done the work, and I am moving on, and that's me. I'm not going to worry too much about what everyone is thinking because I used to. So now I worry less about what people think about what I put out there, to be honest. As long as I am doing it according to what I feel led to do, and as long as I'm not going against any of my values. So if you're someone who wants to share, but you're not sure, sharing is an opportunity for you to impact. Even if it doesn't like impact somebody, it probably will impact you yourself that you're sharing it, because you could come across that post months later or weeks later and it does something for you. Or even as by posting that, it has made you, even feel more comfortable in whatever you're posting. So I hope that helps. The third thing is, I'm a strong believer that God gives you experiences and God gives you situations, God gives you things, God gives you scenarios for you to use for a reason. So it could either be for yourself, it could be for someone else. So if God has given you this situation and someone else hasn't been through it and God is telling you, you know what, post it. Or if you're not a Christian, if you feel this leading in your soul, you're just like, you know what, just talk to someone about this. Or you see this person and you're like, actually relay that experience to them. That experience that you had, you may feel like, you know what, it's embarrassing, I don't want to put it out there, or I just want to keep it to myself because I don't think people are going to receive it well, even though you still feel strongly in your soul that you should. This is an experience that you probably need to then let out because someone else might need to hear it. Case in point, recently I had to tell someone close to me, and for many years I didn't tell anyone about me almost getting expelled from secondary school. My parents found out very recently, so I had to tell someone about it, and this is something that I'm not particularly proud of. It was a time when I was honestly just being silly. I'm not particularly proud of it, and there are so many experiences that I had before that I wasn't proud of, that I feel like contributed to how I was in that season. But I had to share it with someone who was experiencing something similar with her child. And it was in the moment before I shared it, I almost hesitated. I was like, I don't want this person to see me in this light. But I just kept getting this strong leading in my spirit that, you know what, share it. It will encourage her. And I shared, and she felt so encouraged. And honestly, I felt even better for sharing it. Like, I didn't realize that even me sharing that months ago on my YouTube channel was not the final time I was going to share it. I was going to continue sharing because sharing it months ago was like, okay, the first time I'm coming out publicly to say, I would tell people that were close to me, but I wasn't just telling just anybody. So I shared it, and that was something that really encouraged her. And even days later, she was grateful for me. She told me she was grateful that I shared that experience with her because it really helped her see the situation that she had in a different light. Sharing, I feel like you get experiences not just for yourself a lot of the time, you get experiences for other people as well. So if you feel the strong leading in your spirit, then just do it. Honestly, do it. Do not be worried about the naysayers and the critics, because there will always be critics. There will be people who will tell you that you are silly for putting things out there. But as long as you don't do anything, like I said, that are not in line with your values, then by all means. So the last point that I think I should share about why sharing is good is our older generation. So the generations before us, and I'm speaking strictly from a Nigerian point of view. So I was born and raised in Nigeria, and you don't even have to be born and raised in Nigeria. You just have to be around Nigerian families or Nigerian households to understand the culture of not speaking when things happen to you, the culture of acting like your life is so rosy on the outside when, to be honest, inside is not really that great. And it may not even just be Nigerian, but Nigerian is just what I know. That's why I am speaking from a Nigerian point of view. You would see the way they acted, and you can see now from standing on the outside looking in, you can see how it impacted them in the sense that a lot of them were living fake lives behind the scenes. Like, they were living fake lives that people would not understand that was their lives just from looking at their outward appearance. And unfortunately for them, in situations where they could have come out, collaborated, spoken about how, we're both going through this issue, how can we make it better, they suffered alone before they even, instead of sharing it, they just chose to suffer alone, just because, why do I want to come out here and look silly, or come out here and look like I'm suffering? Because at the end of the day, this is real life. Everyone goes through shit. Like, you don't really know who is going to be able to relate to what you're sharing, and who might have the answer for you, or who might have a relatable experience, or who might be able to encourage you in your season. You do not know who can do that for you. So those of us now can always clearly see how detrimental it has been. And I think, standing from this point of view, sharing is definitely the much better option, because we can always just help each other. And this is not to say that there won't be critics. This is not to say that there won't be naysayers. This is not to say that there won't be people that will mock you. There will be, but trust me, at the end of the day, a problem shared is a problem half solved. The other thing I was going to talk about is people that are overly critical of people that are sharing, people that are being overly critical of Akah and Claire. They've shared their experience, they've shared their situation. The best thing you can do is pray for them. And if you don't believe in praying, just wish them well, because at the end of the day, they are one, they're a couple, they're a married couple. By God's grace, they will figure out their situation. But you shouldn't be giving them so much backlash, so much, like, allow them. They're living their lives, and they're very honest about their experiences, and they've said that from the get-go. Even their bio says that they share like real life situations. We're all here shouting, oh, couples don't show their real life, it's only rosy days that they show. Now someone is showing their real life, someone is showing what it really looks like behind the scenes. It's not everyday laughter, it's not every day that we're like, oh, all cozied up, sharing our best moments, like that's what we do 24/7. No, even if it's maybe like 10% of the time or 5% of the time, but it is the reality, and people need to understand that, because a lot of people are scared of going into marriages these days, because they see that people post like their best moments on social media, right? And when they get into marriages, or when people get into marriages, it now looks like, okay, this is not really the reality of it. This is not the reality of it. So if people are willing to share like their experiences, and we're able to like move forward from it, or it's something that we can take and move forward from, or take and apply to our situations, like so many things to take from it. A lot of people have learned how to communicate just from the way Claire communicated. A lot of people have learned how not to approach things just from the way Akah behaved. Like, if it's something that we can take and then apply to our day-to-day and see how we can, use it to make our lives better, then there's no need to criticize them for it. Again, it is their lives. They've done their thing, they've done what they want to do, and that's that. Who are we to judge them? I'm grateful to them for even sharing that, because it raised conversations that I wasn't even expecting that I needed to have. So yeah, we should just be grateful for people who are able to be vulnerable in cases where a lot of people I know are unable to just be vulnerable like that, because you see it and you can go back and speak about it and learn one or two things from it. After saying all this, one last thing I would like to say is that it is definitely possible to overshare. It is possible to overshare. And by oversharing, I mean sharing at the wrong time, sharing too much detail, sharing to the wrong people, or sharing in the wrong place. And as someone who is vulnerable and finds it easy to share, I've had to start, and I'm not even saying I am there yet, I've had to start learning how to manage the situations where I feel like I need to share. I have to make sure that I'm sharing in the right place at the right time to the right person or people. I'm having to make sure that I am not just going off on a whim and just sharing things that I shouldn't share, or things that I'm sharing prematurely. And I've done this by just having a much better relationship with God. I've done this by allowing the Holy Spirit to lead me. I've done this by reading my Bible and understanding what my values are, and understanding exactly what I'm purposed to impact out there on the earth. I'm understanding what exactly my mission is out here. And also, before I share anything, I make sure that I am 100% sure that I have got the right leading, because again, you can be deceived into thinking, let me share this, when it's not the right time. So yes, I try as much as possible to manage my sharing now, because if you knew me before, honestly, I would talk to anybody about anything, and my mindset was, well, I don't know, it just comes out of my mouth, that it just comes out. And yes, I'm getting so much better, and I'm strongly believe that the Holy Spirit leads me to share things that I share nowadays. And I might make mistakes here and there, and I am also aware that there will be critics and there will be naysayers. So I'm aware of everything, and it's something that I'm happy to embrace, and it's something that I'm now finally proud of, because I used to be so ashamed of the fact that I just couldn't keep my mouth shut, and I would just tell people my things. When I met people who were so private, when I met people who they were so discerning of who and what they would share things to, I would look at myself and be like, but why do I find it so easy to share? But now that is a blessing to me. That's all I have to say today. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you stayed till this far, this was actually much easier than I expected, and let's see, we'll see if I will make more. Subscribe to my channel, because this will not be the last video. I just can't promise when the next video is going to be. Follow me on my social media handles, and yeah, I will see you in another video.